Our guru on the West Coast, Kinsey Schofield. She doesn't usually work on Fridays, but this is a bit of a special occasion. Kins, good to see you unexpectedly. Well, your thoughts, first of all, on the verdict. Because then we'll play a little bit of this interview he's given.
My thoughts on the verdict are the same conversation you've had over and over. Prince Harry, it's a case-by-case basis. You are given the security that you desire if they deem that that there's a threat to you. It's not Prince Harry no longer has the security. It's give us 28 days notice, and we're going to evaluate what security measures we think we need to take.
But that's what he hates, Kinsey. And also that they will make the decision, he won't. The only reason he pursued this, he kept going on about the safety of his family. The safety of his family, shortly before hopping off to Nigeria with Meghan, and then off to Colombia.
Or Ukraine.
And then
Ukraine.
Yeah, I mean, he seems to go to the most dangerous places in the world and thinks that Britain is more dangerous. Ludicrous. The only reason he pursued this case was because William gets armed police protection everywhere he goes, and he wants the same status as his brother. Well, Harry, you gave up that status when you did a moonlight flit to America, when you ran away from your frontline royal duties, so forget it. But he is stuck with this like a dog with a bone, and he would not drop it because he's like that. And he's made a fool of himself. He's lost a hell of a lot of money. And of course, how has he responded? He has given a half-an-hour interview with the BBC's correspondent over in California, Nida Tawfik. Let's have a little look at a quote from it.
I miss the UK. I miss parts of the UK, of course I do. And I think it's really quite sad that I won't be able to show my children my homeland. There is a lot of control and ability in my father's hands. Ultimately, this whole thing could be resolved through him, not necessarily by intervening, but by stepping aside, allowing the experts to do what is necessary and to carry out an RMB. That said, This all was initiated under a previous government. And there is now a new government. I have had it described to me, once people knew about the facts, that this is an good old-fashioned establishment stitch-up.
He's just a spoilt brat, isn't he? And he says that the King doesn't talk to him over this. Well, who can blame the King? He also called on our Prime Minister to intervene and overrule the courts. Well, it just doesn't go like that, Harry. He's a little kid who didn't get what he wanted, didn't get his own way, and now he's throwing his toys out of the pram. It's pathetic, isn't it?
It is. And now a palace spokesperson said tonight that all of these issues have been examined repeatedly and meticulously by the courts with the same conclusion reached on every occasion. So when he asks his father to step aside, the palace is saying, we have. Multiple people have looked it over, and they've all come to the same decision. Now, I want to express to you that this entire interview is such a beautiful display of Prince Harry's lack of loyalty. It's why his father won't talk to him. An inquiry found that the BBC covered up information about how Martin Bashir secured his interview with Princess Diana, Prince Harry's mother, for that big panorama exclusive that changed both of their lives, hers for the worst. Some say that because of that interview, her dismissing her security, she died in that Paris tunnel because she was not properly protected. So who does Prince Harry run to with an exclusive? The BBC.
Yeah,
I mean, it's the perfect example of hypocrisy.
It certainly is. And the preposterous suggestion, well, I can't bring my children to see my home country. Now, what a ridiculous thing to say. He can't bring his children to Britain because he thinks they're going to get killed. That's just absolute nonsense. Absolute nonsense. I mean, the man is losing his mind, if you ask me. He also, has a go at his dad for not talking to him, his dad not backing him up, and he calls for a reconciliation. It's time for reconciliation. There's too much. There's no point in.
But wait a second.
Whose fault is this schism? Whose fault is this split? It's him. It's the horrible interview that him and Meghan gave to Oprah Winfrey, calling the royal family racist. It's his disgusting, vile little book which peed all over the royal family, peed all over Britain. They called all of us slave drivers. You know, this is why your dad's not talking to you. This is why your family aren't talking to you, because you did this to yourself, ginger nuts, didn't you?
Absolutely, but you know what? He's giving Thomas Markle. He's doing the rounds, saying, "Please pick up your phones. No one's talking to me." He looks just like Thomas Markle. If Prince Harry wants King Charles to give him a call, maybe Meghan Markle should pick up the phone and call her own freaking father, who's had health issues too. But also, I want to say this is a nightmare from a PR perspective. If I worked for them, I would quit. If I worked for As Ever, I would throw in the towel, because Harry and Meghan's interviews in the last 2 weeks completely cancel each other out. That man sitting there looked like he was, it looked miserable as all hell. And Meghan Markle sits there in New York and says, "I'm the happiest I've ever been."
You're so right. You're so right. I mean, they're a catastrophe, this couple. You know, I've had a straw poll. A lot of my friends who aren't even in journalism sending me WhatsApps today going, you know, that's so-and-so Harry. Everybody really hates him for this. We had contempt for him for pursuing this ludicrous case in the first place. The preposterous proposition that if he brings his family to Britain, they'll all be killed, which we find insulting in itself, and it's stupid and it's wrong. And now he's saying, why can't we have a reconciliation? Oh, I don't know, Harry. Think about what you said to Oprah. Think about what you put in your spiteful little book. Maybe that's got something to do with it. It's unbelievable. I think he needs help.
Yeah, you know, this is probably not the time to attack your father who has cancer.
Yes.
Why don't you lay off of him? Give him a freaking break to try to heal. I mean, he made not only the Queen and Prince Philip's lives a living hell towards the end, but here we are with poor King Charles.
Yeah, this is it. He's crossed the line this time. I don't think there's any way back. And then Meghan will only make matters worse. Kinsey, all too brief, but brilliant stuff as always. Thank you very much. Kinsey Schofield there over on the West Coast.